So here I am in Far Cry 4, doing some more tests with the i5-4670K, matched with a GTX 760. I am in Far Cry 4, like I said, and I have got everything on Ultra. So the game will run on Ultra, but you'll be looking at about an average of 30 frames, which is playable, but it's not super nice to play it. Now, unfortunately, this game is another Ubisoft game, which means on PC, it's slightly balked. It doesn't run great, unfortunately. It seems to me whatever. I mean, it runs better. Obviously way better with the i5 now. But still, no matter what I put it on, it still seems to run at kind of a poopy frame rate. So I'm going to put everything on high and see how that works. I had basically everything on Ultra apart from TXA, so I should say that. Put it down. I think we'll just turn anti-aliasing off to begin with. So now everything's on high. And as you can see, the game still doesn't run super great. I mean, it runs a lot better, but it's still not hitting that 60 FPS, which is slightly disappointing. I mean, it just doesn't seem to make really a huge difference when you put it on. You know what I mean? Do wingsuit away. Well, now we're going higher frame rate. Ooh. As you can see, the game still has huge stuttering problems. So this is why it's not really reasonable to put it on higher settings, or you know, feasible at the moment, because the game, if you put it on higher settings, the game stutters like mad. And so you still, even if you get a better processor, better graphics card, you're still going to be probably still playing it on lower settings because you've got so much bloody fucking goddamn stuttering if you put it on higher settings. As you can see, the frame rate, nothing really happened to it. It's a Ubisoft game. What did you expect? So I went from like a really shitty i3, well, like an £80 i3 to a i5-4670K, which is the second best i5. You may be saying, why didn't you get the 4690K? Mainly because in England, at least, maybe not in America, it was £15 more expensive, and I was like, there's no real point, really. There's not a real point. I'd rather save that £15, which is about $25. And as you can see, going from that to this didn't really make much of a difference in this game, because this game is unoptimized on PC still. It's a Ubisoft game on PC. What did you expect? It made a huge difference in Guild Wars 2, because I could run it at max settings, getting from like 45 to 60, which I would never do with the old processor. But on this, nothing. It still runs like shit. Let's put everything on the same settings. I think we do have it on the same settings. I think I had this on. I can't remember what I had on. High, medium. I mean, I think this is what I'm putting it on here is lower than what I had it before. Maybe did I fur on? I had on enhanced. There you go, that still helps, but you're still not getting 60. So, I mean, I'd say the game is... I mean, I know I don't have an amazing PC, but even on, like, medium settings, with no anti-aliasing on, it still doesn't run at... Well, you're getting 60 now, but this is because you're in a very low populated area. In a gunfight, you're not getting 60. Yeah, and you would expect to be rerunning it on maybe high settings, maybe. It's just Ubisoft games on PC. What do you expect? What do you expect? I mean, this is pretty low settings considering, you know, no anti. I'm just going to say that. Very little ambient occlusion. You know, medium settings. I mean, this right here is probably lower than the console versions, and it's still not running at 60 half the time. But we are now, because we're in a low populated area. If we look over there, it goes down to 50. And the game still has stuttering problems, which is not great. Not great. It seems this year there's been a lot of problems with PC optimization, where the fact that even if you turn the settings all the way down, it doesn't make that much of a difference in the frame rate. You know what I mean? It still runs like shit, even if you turn all the settings down. You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, for this frame rate, I might as well just be playing on Ultra. You know, I'd rather have it look way nicer and it's still playable. Maybe turn that off. Maybe that'll do something. Nope. Still not 60. So put everything on low. Low. How low can you go? Very low. Very shitty low. Everything's off. Everything's on low. And we're still not getting 60. So that, you know, that's... You know, we're getting 60, 70 now, looking in that direction. I mean, it still doesn't really look that bad on low, but still. You shouldn't really be dropping below 60. Yeah, but to even get, you know, even get 60 FPS on this system, you need to put it down to low, which shouldn't really be happening, I don't think. Doesn't make much sense, considering the game doesn't look that great to begin with. I mean, it looks alright. It looks alright, I guess. But I mean, comparing it to Ultra, I mean, like, we had it on high. We had low. There's 5 settings here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 settings for a lot of these settings here. I mean, considering what I just did there, the frame... Well, no, the frame rate's actually quite bad now. That's because... What happened? Did motion blur? Motion blur went on. Turn that off. Considering how much better the game looks now, you know, for how much of a graphics difference there is between low and high, you shouldn't expect the frame rate to be like that. It's just disappointing that no matter what I put it on, it still doesn't run that great. You know, even the same settings I had it before, going from an i3 to an i5 made virtually very little difference in the frame rate. Like, not much difference at all. So it's slightly disappointing. But that's the game for you. That's Ubisoft games on PC. No anti-aliasing, blah blah blah. I think I had. This is like kind of like a step up from what I had it on before I got the processor. And still, frame rate is shit. So it's I don't know if it's, maybe I'm expecting too much from this system with a GTX 760. I know 760 isn't one of the best graphics card, but it's still it's a really good one, especially for the price. You know, and the processor, you know, the second best i5, it's virtually the best one when you can, you know, there's little difference between an i5-4670 and a 90. You know, basically made no difference in the frame rate, if not basically the same. You know what I mean? So I would say it's probably just the game, you know, an unoptimized PC Ubisoft game. But there you go. Disappointing, really. Very disappointing. Considering